Hi, my name is Bente, I'm the Norse Witch, and this week's video is about crystals I like to use to help with my anxiety. Surprise! This video is sponsored, but it's not sponsored in the traditional way because I'm sponsoring myself. Shameless self-plug. I don't know if you have seen it already because I posted all around the internet. I recently launched my own online shop. I really fulfilled my own wishes with that. It was a dream of mine, and it's still a dream of mine to have a YouTube channel and my shop and an actual storefront full time. So I'm kind of taking small baby steps to fulfill my dreams. But I didn't just want to create just another witchcraft shop because I feel like there are a million. I wanted to create a witchcraft shop where you can shop for your everyday witchy needs without having to wonder where the products are coming from, how they were sourced. I didn't want to sell these traditional basic Amazon and Wish things. I wanted to create an online shop where you can buy witchy tools that are ethically and sustainably sourced. So for example, I make sure that the crystals that I sell, because I sell a lot of crystals, are ethically and sustainably sourced, that the way they were sourced doesn't harm the environment, that everyone gets paid a proper amount. And I also have a second-hand section in my shop where you can buy maybe used books or used tarot cards, or I go to a lot of flea markets, so I also always watch out for like cauldrons and pretty candle holders and altar decorations, stuff like that. I also plan on making a lot myself, so I'm really getting into woodwork at the moment, so I want to create a lot of pretty altar decorations with wood and also wood burning. I also make a lot of candles, for example deity candles or spell candles, but I also just sell normal 7-day candles because they're normally not really available in Germany. I also made my first magical oil for my shop recently, and I will also create incense blends. Like just basically everything around witchcraft, but in an ethical and sustainable way. So maybe you want to check out my online shop. The link is of course always in my video descriptions. And actually all the crystals that I will show you today, apart from one, because I wasn't able to buy it yet. My wholesalers don't have it. That's really sad. But apart from this one crystal, all the crystals that I'm showing you today, you will be able to also buy on my online shop. But without further ado, back to Crystal Bente. So I don't know if you noticed already, but everyone in my friendship group, my boyfriend, my family, everyone knows that I love crystals. I love them. I've loved them for a long time because actually my mother got me into the world of crystals when I was really young, because she always went to this small little cute crystal shop in my hometown, and she took me with her. And I would sit on the floor and just dig around in this box of really teeny tiny tumbled stones, and I would just bring some with me. And I think I got my first crystal also from my mom. One of my crystal necklaces that I use actually is a crystal that the shop owner gave my mom, and my mom gave it to me. So it's really, I really love it. It's really important to me. So yeah, I love crystals. I've loved crystals for my whole life basically. But of course, I only really got into properly using them when I got into witchcraft. And one thing that I really want to stress in the beginning of this video is that crystals are no replacement for seeing a professional. Please, please, please don't think that you can use crystals to replace therapy. If you have an anxiety disorder like I do, please go to therapy. Do yourself the favor and go to therapy. You can use crystals alongside with them, and I usually use crystals whenever the anxiety arises in the moment, but crystals won't cure your anxiety. That's my opinion. So I won't recommend, never recommend, using crystals as replacement for therapy. That's not a good idea. Please don't do that. But yeah, as I said, I only really got into using crystals when I got into witchcraft. And of course, I also use crystals for my anxiety. I think it's basically one of the things I use crystals most often for, because I feel like they help so well with anything that has to do with mental health. As I said, not as a replacement for therapy, but it helps alongside with it. I personally think that way. I personally don't think that crystals will heal your physical body. There are people who think that. I personally don't think that. But for anything that has to do with mental health, just feeling more calm or more grounded, anything like that, in my experience, crystals help with that. Doesn't matter if it's just a placebo, it helps, so who cares? So let's get into the crystals. The first one that I want to show you is a classic. I bet every witch who has looked into crystals a little bit came across this one. It's black tourmaline, because it's the protection crystal. Whenever you're looking for a crystal for protection, black tourmaline will come up. It's honestly the best. It helps protect you from any outside influences, no matter if it is an entity or if it's maybe other people's emotions, other people's energies, like just the general energy of places that you visit. So if you have a lot of problems with maybe social anxiety like I do, or you're like an empath or hypersensitive, anything like that, and that creates anxiety for you, because that's the biggest problem that I basically have, is my anxiety gets triggered by other people and places and stuff like that, then black tourmaline is great, because it just shuts off the outside influences that could trigger the anxiety in the first place. So black tourmaline, I basically always have mine with me. I have it on my necklace. It's my main protection amulet, so I would wholeheartedly recommend it. But apart from just being a great protection crystal, it's also great for grounding. It corresponds with the earth element and the root chakra, so it's great for grounding. And I feel like being ungrounded is oftentimes a reason for anxiety. Anxiety is also a problem that you have when your root chakra is not aligned and it's blocked or something like that. Anxiety can arise from that. So I feel like everything that helps the root chakra and staying grounded is great. So black tourmaline is awesome. The next one that I have is Smoky Quartz. It's also a classic. It's like clear quartz, but brown. Or if you have a really nice high quality one, it's completely black and not see-through. But usually it's kind of brownish, smoky, who would have thought? And it's great because it has the ability to transform negative energies and emotions into positive ones. So whenever you feel like you're just filled with negativity, maybe even if you suffer from depression, maybe it could help, then Smoky Quartz is great for that. And well, who would have thought it's also great for grounding? So definitely love that. Another classic is Amethyst. I bet you all know that too. Pretty. It's also a type of quartz like Smoky Quartz is. It's a purple kind of quartz. Apart from if you leave it out in the direct sunlight, because then it will turn into clear quartz because it will fade. So don't leave your colored quartz out in direct sunlight. Not a good idea. Amethyst is the first one that I have here that's not just like grounding and protection. Amethyst is really like extremely calming and balancing. So it just kind of calms down the energy. It's like just taking a deep breath and being like, that's Amethyst for me. Just relaxing and yeah, calming down. Also, Amethyst has the ability to cleanse your mind from any intrusive thoughts or any negative thoughts, anything like that. Like amethyst is great. It's great for cleansing your mind. And by doing both of those things, it brings a deep inner peace. And the next crystal that I have, the fourth one, is also a classic. It's rose quartz. It's the love crystal, like the love crystal. But it's also similar to amethyst in that it's really calming and it brings harmony and peace. And it's really great at releasing stress. So if you're really stressed, take a bath and take some rose quartz with you and just some rose petals and some lavender in the bath. It's really great. And because rose quartz is the love crystal, it's not only good for relationship love or friendship, it's also great for self-love. And I feel like whenever I'm anxious personally, I just completely forget about myself. I'm so outside of my own body, kind of, that I forget about myself and my own needs. So having rose quartz when you're anxious, I think is really great because you can take a step back and reevaluate what you need right now and just take a moment for yourself. The fifth crystal that I want to show you is Garnet. The one that I have here is really teeny tiny, but I will show you a B-roll clip too. Garnet not only is gorgeous, like I think it looks like liquid lava. It also corresponds with the elements of fire and earth, so that's probably where that's coming from. And because of these correspondences, surprise, it's also really great for grounding, but it doesn't only ground, it also energizes at the same time. So it's like, it gives you energy to get through whatever you're doing right now, but it also makes sure that you're grounded at the same time. A lot of the times I feel like really energizing crystals are too much for me when I'm struggling with anxiety, because I'm already like out of my body and my body is just really unsettled and stressed and so I oftentimes feel like I don't want any additional energy. But by keeping you grounded at the same time, that just creates a great feeling of security. And of course, because of its correspondence with fire, it brings a lot of positivity. And I think everyone can use a little bit of positivity whenever you're struggling with anxiety. The next one is Ametrine, which is a combination, like a natural combination of citron and amethyst. So it has the properties of amethyst and citron at the same time. So everything that I said about amethyst, it also applies to this crystal, but at the same time it has the properties of citron. And citron is very energizing and brings a lot of positivity and drive and passion because it's a very fiery crystal. So I feel like Ametrine is calming and energizing at the same time. It sounds weird, but it works for some reason. Like, it gives you the energy that you need and a lot of positivity, but it still helps you stay focused and calm at the same time. It's like, for example, if I would be at work and I have a lot of anxiety because I have a lot of stress, for example, then I have a lot of energy probably in that moment, but I'm not calm at the same time. But Ametrine helps you in that example to work through whatever work you have to do, but by staying calm and focused. So that is really cool. The next crystal is one that's maybe not that commonly known, and that's Mookaite. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but it's this gorgeous red and yellow and brown and white swirly thing. It looks really interesting, and every single one looks differently, so I think that's amazing. Mookaite is a little bit like Garnet, I would say, because it is also very grounding and very energizing at the same time. It's known to help with stress and to help you calm down, and it brings a lot of joy for life and positivity. So I always feel like whenever I feel kind of frozen with anxiety, sometimes when I'm really anxious, I feel like I'm frozen and I can't move and I just want to disappear. And I feel like Mookaite and both Mookaite and Garnet, they kick you out of that state with the energy, because they're energizing and because they give you a lot of joy and a lot of positivity. They kick you out of that frozen state so that you can move out of the situation easier. So that is really nice. The second to last one is one that's also not that well known, and it's lemon chrysoprase. It looks really interesting. It looks a little bit like chocolate chip mint ice cream, which I love. And it also feels like that, honestly. It is really, really calming and relaxing, but it's also really like refreshing, like mint ice cream, actually. So this comforting and also refreshing feeling of mint chocolate chip ice cream, I think that's lemon chrysoprase in a nutshell. I actually did this meditation. I like doing that with herbs and crystals. When I want to get to know their energy better, I do this meditation where I transfer my consciousness into the crystal, and then I see what images and stuff come up. And when I did that with lemon chrysoprase, what I saw was me basically laying down in a big meadow with very tall grass, and there was this wind like that just made this tall grass dance very slowly, and there were very fluffy white clouds chasing over a very blue sky. It was really warm, so the sunshine warmed my skin, which was really nice and really calming, but there was this fresh wind, which was kind of refreshing. So that is what lemon chrysoprase is. And it's also known to release fear and sorrow, so amazing for anxiety. And the last crystal that I have for you today is one that I also only found this year, and it is Antophyllite or Astrophyllite. There are both, and they're basically the same thing. It's just a little bit, the color is a little bit different. Antophyllite and Astrophyllite are really, really great for relieving stress and anxiety. It's just the main thing that it does. So it's amazing. It's also great if you feel like you have a lot of pressure, like inner pressure, which is, for me personally, something that always comes along with anxiety, is this feeling of pressure, and it helps release that, which is great. It's also, in general, a very calming crystal, and I personally really love using it alongside with Mookaite. I will just show you very quickly what I tend to do whenever I'm at home and I feel like a very big anxiety attack is coming. What I like doing is, because this is also a tower, which is really convenient, I take this tower and I place it on my solar plexus, because for me, my anxiety, it's really psychosomatic. It's always really focused on my solar plexus. So I put the Antophyllite there and I keep the Mookaite in my receptive hand. And then I just concentrate on all the anxiety just being sucked out of my body and just me being grounded by the Mookaite crystal. And I always do that whenever I feel a lot of anxiety. It's like my rescue crystal combination, I would say. And yeah, those are the crystals that I personally really like to use to help with my anxiety. I bet there are a lot more, so if you have recommendations, then please put them in the comments, because I can always use more crystals, and especially if I can use them to help with my anxiety. So put them in the comments so we can help each other out. As always, I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to give a thumbs up and subscribe, and maybe follow me on Instagram. And of course, check out my online shop, Sacred Sorcery, on Etsy, because you can buy all the crystals that I showed you apart from Antophyllite on my online shop. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!